Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with coverage of Game 9 of the 2021 World Championship match held in the Exhibition Center in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates between the champion Magnus Carlsen from Norway and his challenger Ian Nepomniachtchi from Russia. Game 9 was played on Tuesday the 7th of December. And we have the handshake before the start of the game and a new haircut for Nepomniachtchi. A new haircut and hopefully a new beginning, because Nepomniachtchi needs to start winning games very quickly. He's 5-3 down after 8 games. And we saw drama in game 9. Let's see what happened. c2, c4 from Nepomniachtchi, a new haircut and a new first move. In all his 4 other white games he had played e2, e4 on the first move. e6, g3, d5, bishop g2, a Catalan setup from white, and d4 from Carlsen. He must have prepared that before the match against 1c4 from white. Knight f3, knight c6, castling from Nepomniachtchi, bishop c5 and d3. And we already have a rare and exciting position on the board. Let's listen to what a previous challenger for the world title, Fabiano Caruana, thinks of Black's setup.
Be a line that he's prepared. You don't play this way, especially in a World Championship match. You don't play like this without preparing this in advance, knowing that this is your line of defense, and also being ready for knight b to d2, knight to b3.
The game goes on. Knight f6, knight b to d2 and a5. The knight went to b3, hitting the bishop, as predicted by Caruana. And the bishop went back to e7. Bishop back to a7 was also a possibility that was looked at in one of the many broadcasts that I followed. Here e3 was played by Nepomniachtchi, and let's hear Grandmaster Peter Svidler explain this move.
As we expect, does play e3, because obviously spending all this time on going knight b1, g2, b3 and then allowing a5, a4 and going back would have been unconscionable.
And indeed e3 has to be played. Let's assume it's black to play again in this position, then he would play a4 and the knight has to go back to where it came from. So that's why e3 was played. D takes e3 and bishop takes e3, knight g4, bishop c5, castling from Carlsen and d4. Now Carlsen decides to kick the knight with a4, and Nepomniachtchi does not want to go back to d2, so he takes on e7 first, queen takes, and then he has the c5 square available for his knight. Carlsen keeps pushing the a-pawn, and here b2, b4 was an option given by the engine that was looked at in a few of the broadcasts. It is a pawn sacrifice, and then rook b1 with compensation for white. But in the game, Nepomniachtchi did not play b4, he took on a3. You can take on a3. This was expected by Grandmaster Anish Giri, and he had this to say about it.
But after ba, rook a3, essentially he's got his active rook, and white cannot really use his center, because if he pushes d5 at some point, which is the only way to really push pawns forward, it opens that c8 bishop, which is black's problem. So it's kind of hard for white, like his only way forward is solving black's only problem.
In the game, rook takes a3 was not played. After b takes a3, Carlsen played the rook to d8. And that's attacking the d4 pawn. If it was black to play again, he could take on d4. Because of the recapture, then the knight on c5 is hanging and black has won a pawn. So that's the threat after rook d8, and that's why Nepomniachtchi played knight b3, covering the d4 pawn again. Knight f6, rook e1. Now Carlsen took on a3 with the queen, and queen e2. And here we have a little controversy, which is not a controversy at all. Carlsen was adjusting his knight on f6. He was not meaning to play with the knight. Every chess player can see that from the body language. Let's have a look.
This happened behind the scenes. Look at this again.
Yeah,
that looks to me like a simple adjusting.
It is a simple adjusting, and so I don't think that the arbiters made the wrong call not to hold it, and maybe he really whispered it under his breath and we can't see under his hand. Yeah. But at the same time, he did touch his knight.
I don't really get the controversy.
So no controversy at all. Carlsen played h6. He did not play with the knight on f6, obviously. And let's hear Grandmasters Judith Polgar and Anish Giri about this position.
So black's position is completely stable. He's not too active, only the activity he has on the a5.
It's hard for both sides to make moves in this position. Really hard. The problem is that with the rook on a8, b6 feels a bit worrying because of the diagonal. And again, bishop d7 is not a full solution to the bishop, because what is the next square? Bishop e8. Bishop on e8 is still bad.
h4 was played on the 19th move. Bishop d7, knight e5, and bishop e8. Yes, the bishop is still bad. That bishop is black's Achilles heel in this type of Catalan opening. Nepomniachtchi played queen e3 and Carlsen queen b4. Rook e to b1, and Peter Svidler and Sergei Karyakin were not too impressed with this move.
I don't know what I think about this. I understand a2 is not hanging, but I don't like decentralizing my pieces too much.
Yeah, me too. Looks equal.
Carlsen took on e5, the knight was swapped, d takes e5 and knight g4 hitting the queen. Queen back to e1, and we saw a trade of queens. And now black has to be careful. If it was white to play again, that there would be f3, and that would trap the knight. The knight has no squares and would be lost. And that's why Carlsen played h5, to give the knight a square on h6. And now white can win a pawn. Bishop takes b7, and white indeed has an extra pawn. Rook a4, and the clock is also a factor in this game. 50 minutes on the clock for Nepomniachtchi versus 17 for Carlsen for the next 14 moves. White is an extra pawn, has a lot more time on the clock, but black has compensation for the pawn. And now high drama. On move 27, Nepomniachtchi played c4, c5, and that is a blunder. If you want to look for yourself, if you have not seen it yet, can you figure out what the refutation is of this move? Carlsen of course found it. It is c7, c6, and that is trapping the bishop on b7. Black is threatening to pick up that bishop with rook b8 and rook a7. A blunder from Nepomniachtchi, 2 games in a row. Let's hear how the elite grandmasters in a live broadcast reacted to the blunder.
We have the move c5 on the board, so not knight c5, but
Wait,
pawn to c5.
but it's losing.
Wait.
That's losing.
Oh my god, did he just blunder?
Yeah, he did. C6?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. And he just might not see it as a possibility. We were talking about c5, white playing c6, and then it mentioned c6 for black, and the bishop's trapped.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and Magnus is scowling because I think he sees it.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
What? What?
And he played c5.
Oh my god, come
And
on.
he
But come on,
blundered.
I mean, no, but sorry, but c5, c6, I mean, I'm sorry, but I saw that instantly. Is he nuts? No, but, I mean, that is insane. Like,
Oh.
I mean, the moment because I was looking at position somewhere else, the moment you told me c5, I opened our analysis board on the screen. I instantly saw c6. Instantly. I mean, this is insane. Look at him.
Look at
Oh, but okay, this is just, I mean, this is outrageous. Just, I've never seen something like this. It's just insane. What's going on? Poor guy, he's completely out of shape. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh my.
He completely lost it.
But okay.
He played c5 straight away. But what is he planning? What is he planning against c6? Hang on.
Ooh.
This may have been a mistake, yeah?
Quite horrible for Nepomniachtchi. He soldiered on, he played f3, the knight had to go back to h6 and played rook e4, trying to save that bishop, but it's clear that also Nepomniachtchi knew that that bishop was not going to be saved. Rook a7, attacking the bishop, rook b4 defending it, but rook b8 is attacking it a second time. Nepomniachtchi is trying to get some compensation for the piece. a4, there goes the piece. Rook b6, we see 3 captures on b6. And where's the compensation? Well, knight c5 is a very strong knight and that bishop on e8 is very weak. And white has that a-pawn with the rook behind it. And also black's knight is far away from the action. But it is not enough. Knight f5 from Carlsen, bringing the knights closer. a5, rook back to b8 and a6. You and I would get very nervous about that a-pawn, but Carlsen calmly takes on g3. He had calculated everything. Knight a4 and pushes c5, bringing the bishop on e8 back to life. a7, one square away from promotion, but Carlsen calmly moves to d8. Nepomniachtchi took on c5, and it was Fabiano Caruana who gave this very amusing variation. He said, let's say black plays bishop c6, makes perfect sense, covering the a8 square. Then rook b1, threatening rook b8. But there is rook d2, giving up on that a-pawn, going for checkmate himself. Knight b7, to make sure the bishop doesn't cover the a8 square anymore. Bishop takes f3, burning all the bridges behind him. And yes, white can promote with check. But after king h7, there is no defense against rook g2 checkmate. Very nice variation. After knight takes e5, Carlsen did not play bishop c6. He played rook a8. And now there is no way for the knight to come around and attack the rook. There is no more counterplay for white. And black just has an extra piece. And on top of that, all white's pawns are weak. Ian Nepomniachtchi threw in the towel, stopped the clock and shook Magnus Carlsen's hand in resignation. Carlsen has won 3 of the last 4 games and only needs 1.5 points out of the remaining 5 games to retain his world title. To make matters worse for Nepomniachtchi, Carlsen will be white in 3 of the last 5 games. The match is not over, but looking back at it after game 9, one can say that Nepomniachtchi never recovered from game 6, a game that lasted almost 8 hours and where Nepomniachtchi had to defend and defend, but eventually lost the game after 136 moves. I hope you like this video and that you keep following the World Championship match with me. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you like the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.